Well, we'd like to welcome everyone tonight to the public segment of our May 19th Diversity Committee meeting. As many of you know, I'm Craig Kiefner, the Director of Student Supports at Mason Public Schools. This is our most recent meeting of our Diversity Committee. I would again welcome you to our public segment here. I'm going to turn it over to our diversity consultant, Dr. Carlin Tishner, who's going to walk us through the summary of the meeting we just held.
Thanks, Craig. Good evening. Good to be with everyone tonight. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick summary over tonight's conversation. Our old business focused on our equity decision-making tool. This was a proposal by one of the subcommittees, and it'll be a brief update today as well. The intention of this tool was to help us think about the lens by which we make decisions and using an equity lens to do so. The goal is to allow central office administrators, staff, and across the district, including teachers, to really ask themselves a set of questions to then ultimately arrive at a decision that is best for all students, but that also minimizes future inequities from occurring. So that tool was developed, and the broader committee continues to review and provide feedback about that tool before it is rolled out by the district. We also provided a quick update for the Teaching for Equity series. Again, that series is an opportunity for educators across the network to receive training every month on a different topic. The district does compensate anyone who attends, especially educators, and the goal is to continue to grow everyone's toolbox on issues of equity and diversity. And the topics that have been covered so far have been many, but there's one more that will be provided in June to close the year out. And we will be discussing over the summer future opportunities that may shift what we've done so far into focusing more on administrators, but more to come on that. We've been excited for the teachers who have joined us, but are always interested to see more educators join us at that time. So hopefully we'll see more in June. There's also a discussion about a previous issue that was emerged through the district's web email. And the discussion was really related to elementary dance and really making the language around the dance more inclusive as to not exclude any student and or parent from attending. And so Craig provided us with a report out that just discussed the intention to make such language around the dances more inclusive so that there is more opportunity and access for students and their families. We also then discussed a bit more lengthily tonight how to really begin the question from an equity lens. We had a deep discussion across the committee, and our goal was really to continue to develop questions that ask us to interrogate the current circumstance of what we provide to our students, the access they have, their experiences, and ultimately how that sets them up for success, however that is defined. And so our goal is to continue to help us develop those questions so that all of us on the committee and even in the broader community can begin to use the lens of equity in how we assess and evaluate what happens today and how that might change and need to change in the future. At this point, I want to transition over to our wonderful subcommittee chairs who will give a report out. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Tishner. We'll turn over to our subcommittee co-chair or chairs. Community educational resources and communications.
Thanks, Craig. So we have the book club announcement ready for the community book club that we're starting, and the district is just going to be reviewing that before it is published. So look forward to that. The first book will be Blind Spot, so we're super excited to read that together. We're also proposing a second annual Mason Moves Forward for the beginning of March of 2023, and so hopefully that will get approved in the next couple of weeks so that we can begin plans for that. We've also been talking with the Equity Task Force to help it with attendance and sponsor of some of their events. They have a Pride Picnic that's family friendly coming up on June 26th at Hayes Park from 1 to 3 p.m. And they also will be sponsoring another back to school picnic in September, which raised over $4,000 in supplies for the school district last year. So we're hoping to help them with that event and have a chance to meet more people as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. We'll turn it over to our Educator Development and Resources Committee. Kim.
Yes, this last month and previous month, my committee has been working on both working on ways to develop teachers, and our plan is to have a book study over the summer to continue our learning, and then also proposing to the larger or diversity committee Padlet for DEI resources. So that's in the process of being reviewed and hopefully be in place and put into practice in the fall.
Thank you. District policies, guidelines, and practices.
Good evening. We brought back our decision-making tool to the committee in old business, and we're still receiving feedback. We're asking for more feedback from the committee members. Once we have the feedback, our subcommittee is going to work on making some refinements and bringing forward a final version that will hopefully be voted upon and then brought forward to school district leaders to be used in the fall and then rolled out at the building level by the principals.
Thank you, Ted. Student Experience Group.
Hello to all, Alex Port here. The Student Experience Subcommittee met last week and decided to start taking on a new project, which was a deep dive into district discipline practices to see if we could gather a baseline and discover if there were any kinds of disparities and if there were certain groups of students that were taking on a disproportionate amount of discipline at the schools. And so we found some data from 2017 that's publicly available on the Civil Rights Data Collection page of the Office of Civil Rights website. And then we also were able to get some data from 2021 that we're still looking through. So we're looking forward to reporting out on some of that data here shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Instructional Practices and Curriculum Design.
Good evening. My subcommittee is excited about next year trying to really look at pedagogical practices and just regular classrooms on a whole, and just how we can encourage equity in every teaching practice that there is. One of those things would be to look how we can supplement or back up or provide additional opportunities after the Teaching for Equity series that we're in hopes that reaches a broader basis somehow by some formatting of the district planning. And so that's about it. Thanks.
Thanks, Mary. And finally, our membership committee.
Thanks, Greg. Our committee gave an update on our ongoing effort to fill spots on the Central Diversity Committee for next year, moving into this summer. We have an ongoing effort in that regard, and I think as we reported out after our last meeting, that effort will be followed by another opportunity for individuals to join subcommittees if they're not a participant on the Central Diversity Committee. So we are continuing our work there and expect to have a full slate of committee members moving into the summer.
Thank you, Rick. We now turn to our superintendent, Mr. Davitsky, who will talk about just a quick statement on the work of the committee and the continued DEI efforts of the district.
Just continue to be impressed with the work of the committee and the focus on all of our subcommittee work and our outreach to the community and outreach to our students and staff. And so looking forward to continued efforts in all of those areas. I'm certainly very pleased with all the professional development we offered this school year. Also, the Mason Moves Forward was a great initial reach out to the community, and we got more planned, the book study and other things like that. I think we're moving in a very positive direction. And one thing nice is I think our skill level, our conversations are getting deeper and they're getting richer. I think we're all getting, sharpening our saw in relation to the skills we bring to this particular topic. So I want to send a special thank you to all the committee members who've worked so hard this year and continue to work towards this effort, and just thank them for all they do.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of our public segment of the Diversity Committee for May 19th. We will continue our work, and we'll see you most likely next month. Thank you.